Alright guys, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age, aka the Zodiac Brave Story. I'm MysteriousJG, so off screen I made my way back to that save crystal, which finally cured Redis of his disease. And I switched to the boys, give them a chance to shine in the next fight, and some equipment changes for reasons that will become obvious in a moment. I gave our main healer, Bosch, the white mask, which allows him to absorb holy elemental damage. Baltier now has the Staff of the Magi equipped, but I also gave him the Neo Palora just for the first turn so we can throw a remedy at this boss. Van is wearing Thieves' Cuffs and the Yagyu Darkblade. The Thieves' Cuffs and the Neo Palora will be changed to ribbons like our friend Bosch has early in the battle. As soon as Van can steal, and as soon as Bosch or Baltier has used his remedy, they'll be switching. Gambit-wise, it's not a whole lot of change here for Van. He's stealing and attacking. Baltier is going to be using Scathe if he doesn't have white magic stuff to do, because it is a non-elemental magic. And until they start running real low on MPs, I've got Bosch will be using Darkga, and that will probably make sense once we get going on this fight. Now, if we come this way, there's actually a way crystal that you can see. You won't be able to tell immediately, but oh, that is incredibly wasteful. But this will actually warp us back to the beginning of this maze. And by beginning, I mean it's like the one of the first rooms in the maze that you can reach once you first get past that gate that you can't do without completing the plot. So we're all the way back at Vikiru Kanbru Ra. But you have to basically, it's nice, once you get to that point in the maze where you're one room away from the Esper fight, they'll let you return there. But you got to get there once. And it does look different in this crystal on the the map. So we have people that are sleepy, confused, etc. It's okay. We'll deal with it. But for now, let's head this way and see what there is to see. See what this big boss battle we've been building up to is. Well, surely there's something going on up here. There's a treasure chest after all. Oh, somebody is pouring themselves into the treasure chest, or right behind it. It's a golden shower for some kind of angel. It's an angel who's holding up, she does not want us getting that treasure chest. She's holding up her little skirts here. So this is Ultima the Death Seraph. The 10-cent summary of the plot of Final Fantasy Tactics is some kind of evil gods that possess Zodiac stones are trying to, they're like demons basically, and they're trying to reincarnate on the earth, and various demons are able to reincarnate by possessing people, and then they control those people and manipulate them to bring about the circumstances that will allow other demons to come back. But the big bad of Final Fantasy Tactics is Ultima the Death Seraph, who ultimately ends up trying to possess the main character's sister. And I don't know why I'm spoiling Final Fantasy Tactics for you, because I might LP that game someday. All Dragon is considering LPing it. I think he is LPing it, rather. But no, I mean, this is all way at the end of the game. It's like, yeah, it's an evil monster tries to use your sister's body. Doesn't really end up working out anyway. But the implication is that if Ultima the Death Seraph, which is a female evil deity, is able to reincarnate, it will mean bloody destruction for the world. So when you see it pop up in Final Fantasy XII, which is in the world of Ivalice and is using quite a bit of Final Fantasy Tactics, kind of like lore and stuff, you can assume it's not good news. So Van could not steal from Ultima, and he's already freaking dead. That didn't take long at all. I'm a little surprised by how fast that happened. So you're gonna steal from her now? Okay. Virgo gem has been stolen, and he's dead again. I don't know how he's dying so freaking fast. I don't remember him being quite this easy to kill last time. But I can at least shut off his steel gambit. And equip him with ribbon in case... oh, you know what? I think the physical attacks... Yeah, almost all of the optional espers have some nasty status ailments associated with physical attacks. And I think Ultima has a automatic death attached to her melee attack. So we'll switch over to Balthier just for a minute because I forgot to make him use a remedy on her anyway. Oh, he might not be the best one. I don't know if he has all of the... Okay, well we can give him a ribbon now as well. Now she's got all these positive things, including reflect. Oh, so we don't want to be using all these magics. Yeah, maybe that's why, because she's got reflect and I didn't get rid of reflect. Okay, let's get rid of deflect. That might be what's killing my party members so freaking fast. I didn't notice that my attacks are being reflected back. So now she's just blind. That's not really all that devastating a status ailment on an enemy that is going to start using magic more as the battle continues, but still, it's not good for her. And she is weak, as you'd expect, against Dark, which is why I switched to Yaji Dark Blade and got Genji Blade going, although it's still not doing much damage. She's going for ultimate, Holy Ja. And this can be a full party wipe if you don't have... Ooh, Balthier has reverse applied to him. Probably want to get rid of that. And now we have an HP draining field, so that's kind of ugly. Balthier only survived because she applied reverse. And I have a feeling if I don't get rid of reverse, she's probably going to kill him with curing magics. Okay. Anyway, we got Excalibur, so that's fun. We wouldn't want to use it in this fight, but he cannot use it. It is a... Probably Ash will be the only one using that weapon. And it is Holy Elemental, so it will be super useful against the exact opposite subset of bosses from Ultima, against whom using that would be bad. She would be absorbing it. All the damage you do would be absorbed as hit points for her. So she's doing crap damage, like 400, 300 a hit with her elemental weakness. It's still chipping away. But now I want to see technique-wise, should he be using... Let's see, exposed, lower defense, sheer, lower magic resist. Let's start with sheer. Because Redis was actually doing better, it seemed like, than Van. Oh yeah, the other thing is that you take damage. You take damage when you inflict damage on Ultima. She has a lot of weird tricks going. And Then she's going for Greater Barrier, which will probably make her invulnerable for a while. She's already halfway dead, though. And, oh, Greater Barrier just, never mind, she's not invulnerable, but it gave her Protect and Shell back. So I have to tell you, this is going way smoother than it did when I fought this off screen, because when I fought this off screen, I had party members dying a lot, and some of the things that I kind of forgot to explain to you. You see it's MP is going down. Yeah, it keeps changing, and there's always a negative status field in play, but it changes from your HP straining, your MP straining, etc. That just rotates. You take damage. She has like a Diablo Thorns aura. You take damage when you deliver damage. And not a ton of damage, but you take damage. And she started with Reflect, which I forgot, which may be why Van kept dying at the beginning. But I think he was really dying at the beginning because before I had Ribbon on him, I think there's a chance with every melee attack of just automatic death. But I might be wrong about that because I don't remember Redis dying. But then again, with this game and the Gambit system, sometimes you don't even notice when your party members die if it's not the one that you happen to be paying attention to. So I'm just going to keep using Expose on her. Well, she's more than halfway defeated. Just one more Expose is probably enough. And she's getting ready to go for Holy Jug again, which means she'll go... It's kind of cool looking, but the noise at the end is not that devastating. Okay, so now we've got Reverse and a bunch of people who are out of MP. So that's a bad scene. Reverse is apparently not something Ribbon protects you against. And the fact that we're out of MP is potentially an issue. Bash is completely out of MP. Alright. Well, let's get some remedies going here and try to get rid of Reverse. Because I believe if you have Reverse on you, she starts healing you and kills you that way. Although that didn't get rid of Reverse, did it? Oh, it'll be gone now when he's revived with the Phoenix down. So the issue now is that we're... Okay, Magic Field we can't attack. Maybe our MP starts coming back now? This isn't really that big a deal because we can still use techniques all day long. But, let's give ourselves some ethers here. Everybody give a magic user an ether. And it barely even seems like it's worth doing, but since you temporarily can't attack, you can use 1,000 Needles. And since you temporarily can't attack, I'm hoping it'll actually... I'm hoping this will work, but since you temporarily can't attack, let's do Telekinesis. So we'll see if those... Yes, they will kick in on their own. So I think we got this, guys. He's going for Holy Jaw again. This is why the white mask is so important, because Baltier, or rather Bosch, will always be safe from this attack, because I equipped him with something that absorbs Holy. But yeah, as you see, everyone else freaking died that time. Nobody was in great HP shape because of the healing slowdown that took place once everyone's MPs were gone. Oh, Van has fallen again. Not sure what redemption does, but it seems like I see that message a lot right before Van dies. Oh, there's no magic casting right now. Well, I guess you should always have foe any attack just in case, so they're not completely wasting their turns. So we can finish it off anytime with a bunch of mist strikes, but I'm hoping we can do it without that. Probably should have gone for the mist strikes just to get it over with. So we're going to win here, but yeah, I mean she's dangerous. We're at level 75. We got some pretty good gear, and we're still having some challenges. Now techniques are disabled, so okay, you still have attack. You still have attack. Everyone should still be fine, even with techniques disabled. So I'm not speeding this up. I could be. She's dangerous enough. I don't like the idea of speeding things up. And I guess I just won. How could you beat me up? I'm a girl. You intentionally switched to an all-male party right before this fight, you crazy bastard. I didn't actually think about that, but now that I do, it's like, oh yeah, as soon as we were getting ready to fight the female super boss, I'm like, switch to the guys so it can be misogynistic. And I'm even giving this Esper to one of the female party members that wasn't part of the fight. So. Oh, I didn't even equip the Artemis bow on Bosch. Not that it really matters because we barely used his physical attack in that fight. But he was our party leader at the end. So for a change, there's Ultima, the High Seraph. I thought she was like the Death Seraph or something. I don't know. And now he's going to start siphoning MP off of others. Or himself. Okay, that gambit appears to be not working right. I'm just confused. So let's stop doing that, because yeah, if he's trying to siphon MP off himself, it's apparently I just didn't set that gambit correctly. Equipment wise, I meant to give you the Artemis bow. Let's give it to you now, because it is better. I think I have better arrows available if I ever get to the bazaar and sell all my stuff. Because I meant to make a notepad file of all the things that I collected that I needed to sell. I just didn't want to sell a bunch of stuff off screen. Well, maybe I did and just didn't buy it. Maybe it's sitting in the bazaar waiting to be bought. Definitely made a confused mess out of all that. Now, Ash is using the Deathbringer, which, despite its name, is not darkness elemental, but it does have death. Oh, she probably could have. She probably has a shield or something that absorbs. You know what? No, I don't have a shield that absorbs holy. But she can equip, and probably for the rest of the game will equip, unless I can get like the ultimate one-handed weapon out of the bazaar, which is something I'm going to try to do before the game's over. But for now, she'll probably spend the rest of the game fighting with Excalibur, which is significantly better than Ultima Blade in this game, to the point where I could get another Ultima Blade through the bazaar. And at one point I was like, well, if I give this, depending on who I give this gambit to, or this Ultima license to. The license for Ultima has been added to the board. So, like, if I gave it to him, he would get Claymore, Defender, Save the Queen. There was a previous point where I could have given him an Esper. I think Chaos would have given him Ultima Blade, but then I decided, no, it's a two-handed sword, which is good but not great. So he would lose the ability to be ranged, and he wouldn't be able to use it with a shield, and it's just like, nah. So let me see what that gives him. So that would give him a bunch of extra two-handed swords, and he would get Infuse, nah, and 1,000 Needles, nah. If I gave it, I already know who I'm giving it to, but just for fun, if I gave it to Ash, he would get Stamp, and she would get Telekinesis and Battle Lore. So there's an argument to be made that I should give it to Ash so she can get Telekinesis, because that will make her more useful against flying enemies. If it really comes down to it with flying enemies, we can have her using like the flying enemies that fly high enough that they're immune to melee. She can be using 1,000 Needles. It's not great, but she just won't be the best character against flying enemies. Penelo here gets nothing from Ultima, and then she gets nothing from Ultima. So she still doesn't have an Esper. Gotta give her one of the Espers. There's only a few Espers left. Gotta give one of them to Penelo. Van can get nothing, or he could get Phoenix Lore and Phoenix Lore, which is just Baltier, who's already gotten some pretty powerful Espers given to him, would be able to get Telekinesis, which is kind of meaningless for him, since he's primarily our magic user. We don't use him for melee anyway, and then nothing. So the obvious choice here is going to be Fran. The only other choice would be potentially to give Telekinesis to Ash, but giving it to Fran gives her Expose, which is one of the things that's really useful in boss fights. So now, not just Van had it in that fight, now one of the boys and one of the girls would both have access to it. And she also gets some swords that she probably won't use anyway, because I'm primarily using her for ranged. But the main reason to do it would be to give her Expose. Because again, what Ash gets is good, but I'd rather Fran have the ability to lower enemy defense. So she will get Ultima. Everybody, I believe, except Penelo has an Esper, so I don't have to worry too much about splitting them evenly or anything like that. The main thing here is Expose. So with that, she has Expose, and it's probably easier to find this in the Techniques menu than to try to find it on the license boards. But now Sheer is available to... It's like randomly available to Bosch, but really Sheer is the thing that I'd be thinking about for Van and for Fran. Expose is Van, Fran, and Baltier for some reason. And we have some other ones that we haven't found yet. I believe they're the ones that lower attack. So we can lower magic resist, and we can lower physical resist, and eventually, at some point in the game, I believe we're supposed to come across something that will lower magical attack and physical attack as well. And now is where I got to go back to the licenses board if I want to figure that out. Based on his Foe Breaker skills, Van should have access to all of that. So he's got all the bombs. Awesome bombs. So Wither we haven't come across, and Addle we haven't come across, but Van will get those. Fran will only get them, I think, if we give her certain Espers. So whatever Esper this is, if it's not one that's great for Penelo, Fran probably gets it to get Wither. And then she may not be able to get Addle, or maybe she already has it. Let me see. It was a picture of a like magical staff that have been broken in half. Well, maybe she doesn't get that one, unfortunately. I thought the Ulan could get all of them if they used all of the right espers, but maybe not. So she would be one short, unless by chance Time Battle Mage gets Addle. Oh, it does. She doesn't get Wither too, does she? If the Time Battle Mage gets Wither, then we wouldn't need... Well, she's getting these two from Zeromus. So just looking for a picture of a sword that's been split in half. That's not what this is it? No, it is not. Okay. Depending on what other things are available, it could be that Fran and Van, the Ann brothers, their siblings, will both have all of those skills, which would be nice because it means whether I'm playing as the boys or the girls, or when I get to the really powerful bosses, I might actually change the parties up differently. But both parties will have somebody who can put all of the quote breaks, like the Orin from Final Fantasy X breaks on enemies, and that's cool. All right, well, get back to my traditional party leader here. But that's it. Other than coming back here to fight enemies because I want to get their item drops for the bazaar, and coming back through here one more time to get to that optional boss that we can't do anything with yet, but can fight later, we're kind of done with the zone. So, when we come back, I need to try to remember to showcase, just do a video where I show you the techniques involved with trying to fight a level 99 red chocobo, because I did capture footage without doing commentary on it of me fighting one, just because the first time one popped, like it was a lot of running back and forth before it spawned, and when it finally did, I switched over and recorded the fight. It involves, and again, thanks to the magic of the wikis and stuff, I was able to figure out how to win that battle consistently. Because it involved using the, probably pronouncing it wrong, Ensanguined Shield, which gives you it's really difficult to defeat an enemy using a character who has the Ensanguined Shield through physical attacks, which is what that thing likes. But, that plus decoy on the character using that shield is a big part of the strategy, and the berserk in the I'll showcase it. But I'm gonna go just for my own edification, see if I already actually have all that stuff lined up in the bazaar and just kind of need to show it being purchased on screen. But I'm definitely calling it a video. So when we come back next time, there's a couple things we could do next, including going after the toughest optional espers now available to us, because we need to collect a certain number of espers before we can open the dungeon with the toughest optional esper of all. You might be able to guess the second toughest optional esper is the holy themed one. The darkness themed one is considered the toughest of the optional espers. That might be next, or maybe something else. I knew that I wanted to clear this crystal stuff out in my next play session, and I'm glad I did. See you guys next time for more Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age.